Hello everybody, I have a story for you today, and this is focused on a particular kink called butt spanking. Now, some people love it, some people are dreaming of it, some people want to do it with their partners and haven't started, but this is a way to enter into sort of the adult playground. Just starting slowly, bit by bit, it can super enhance your connection with your partner and your sexual playground with each other. So I hope you enjoyed the story.
So for me, I never like to have my butt touched for most of my life, seriously. And I just was not into it. It was not something that was of interest to me. I didn't like it, actually. I did not like it when someone smacked my butt. It felt really uncomfortable. It took me out of the zone. It took me out of any kind of feeling of sensuality or eroticism. And with my husband for the first 10 years, 11 years, there was no spanking going on at all. Whenever he spanked my butt, I didn't like it. It was never pleasurable. And he never just never did it. It was never something that we got into. But things change, right? Desires change. Your desires change over time. You play out desires that you have, and you play them out, and then it comes to a point where they're kind of boring. You don't want to do those kinds of things anymore, or you're bored by them, or you and your partner have played them out beyond played them out. And you're starting to feel like, wow, I really would like to do something else. I really like to feel something else. And you start to have these other desires. So we had been married 11, 12 years. He'd come out as bisexual. We had opened our relationship, but we weren't really doing anything about how to open it yet. We were still in the kind of beginning stages. But we were opening, we were opening to each other in different ways. We were excited by the possibility. We were having a lot of sex, more than we had the first 11 years of our life. We were having a lot of sex, and we were starting to meet people, and we were just sort of starting to figure out what was this going to all be about. And we were really heated up a lot of the time. I was very excited to be with him, and he was very creative in how we were connecting and trying new things. And he started writing a book. So he took a little office away from the house so he could be really focused in an office that actually didn't have any internet. And so it gave him that time to be really private over there. And one day I came by, many days, but this particular day I came by, we were very excited, and we hadn't had sex in that room yet, but this was the time. And we were kind of pretending a little bit that I had dropped in to find out about his book, and he was the writer going to tell me, and we were both excited by us coming together and doing this little role play. And I was asking him questions about writing, and he was telling me, and I was getting excited, and he was saying he wanted to show me some things, and we started playing around, and then at one point he smacks my butt, something he had not done for the first 11 years.
Are you an explorer? Do you want to enhance your sexual life, your intimate connection with your partner, so that you're both feeling more alive, more connected, and you have a lot more sex that is satisfactory? That's not just satisfactory, that's extraordinary. I have something for you that you're going to absolutely love. It's called Empower, men's intimacy, sexuality, and masculine power unleashed. It's a program that will change everything in your intimate and sexual life. Whether you're with a partner right now in a long-term relationship, or maybe you have been divorced and you're trying to get started again to do it even better the next time. Get on a call with me to apply for Empower. The next sessions start April the 10th. You don't want to miss this. I have a group of guys in the first session. They're just finishing up. They are loving it. They are shifting and changing and exploring and just finding all sorts of amazing things happening in their bodies that they never knew existed. And the connection with their partners is changing in ways that bringing them closer together, making them bringing them to a place where they really understand their partner much better, so that they can start to voice their opinions, have more confidence in who they are as an intimate and sexual being. Get in for the interview. There's just a small number of people that I'm accepting for this program, and I think it's probably you. I'd love to have you. I'd love to talk to you. Let's have a little chat to see if this fits for you. First link in the description below. Sign up to apply for Empower. I'll see you there.
And it kind of startled me because I normally would have been very reactionary to my butt being slapped. But I was like, oh, that feels kind of good. I didn't sort of pull away. And we continued with this little play, and then my clothes were off, and now, he's playing around with touching me all over, and he's getting really excited, getting a big heart on, and I start like kissing his body, and I go down on him and kind of turn to the side, and he smacks my butt while I am going down on him. And I was so excited. Like, it was somehow something had triggered in me that, whoa, that feels really good. And I got even more excited, and he got really excited. So he slapped my ass again. And he slapped my ass a number of times. That little encounter, we started having sex. We were super horny, super excited. We only had a short time though, because it was kind of like this break he was taking from writing. So I wasn't planning to stay there that long, and we ended up having sex for longer than anticipated. It was like in this little basement suite, dark, completely isolated. And so it was really exciting that, okay, I gotta go. He said, I gotta get my writing going. Time to leave. I'll see you. I'll get to you later. And I left there just like, oh my goodness, like I really like this butt slapping thing. That really added to the connection, added to the sensuality, added to the edginess of the connection that we were having. But, he didn't spank me prior to us already being turned on. I was already very turned on. I was in the sexual act, and then he spanked me. So it was like I had been quite warmed up. And I think that made a big difference, because just spanking me cold may not have been such a good move. So he always just kind of went with whatever he felt, and I also did as well. And the spank was a super big turn on. Have you ever been spanked before, or have you ever spanked anyone before? And how do you like it? Do you like it? So that was the entry into spanking. And from that event on, after I left and we were apart again for another 4 or 5 hours, he was writing, doing his thing, and I was going to do my work. When we got together again, we were so excited by the spanking. I said, I really like that. He's like, I did too. And so it started to become more and more incorporated. He started to love it. I started to really love it as well. He would take me over his knee and spank me, and it started very gentle, not too hard, not too painful, just enough, just enough pain. So I got some really good spankings over the butt during intercourse, after intercourse, before. It just became a major aspect of our relationship and our connection. And from the spanking, it opened up a lot of doors, because spanking is really a form of submission, right? I had actually spanked him in the past. We had played around years before about me being dominant, and I was spanking him, but I had never really done it before. I was scared to do it too hard. A man's ass can take a hell of a lot more than a woman's ass, for sure. And I was doing it as hard as I could, but I just felt like I felt bad. Like I felt like it was too painful for him. It was painful for me, let's say. So we played around with it for a bit, and it didn't last that long. But now that times had, and he was being submissive to me at that time. So now I was a submissive. And because we hadn't really started to go into that submission kinky element yet, but the spanking started to take us there because spanking is a form of submission. So it then started to turn into get ready, honey, because it's spanking night. I'm like, oh, spanking night. Ooh, how nice. And it would be a spanking night, like a warm up towards what was going to happen, getting the right outfit on, being that little naughty girl that was going to get a spanking. And that's how it started to play out. And it was very exciting. The spanking would lead then into sex. It was like we were warming up to get there, and then when the spanking happened, it led us into having an even more potent, connected sexual experience. And spanking usually and was at that time very exciting for me to be put over his knee. So then again, it's a control thing, and we're getting into a little bit of taboo play here because he was starting to take the role of daddy. So I'm like, okay, daddy, you're a naughty girl, and daddy's going to give you a spanking. So there was always something I was naughty for, always some reason to give Leanna a spanking. And the naughty girl got a spanking, and it felt good because I like to be a naughty girl, and the naughty girl was very slutty and naughty, and so the spanking came really natural and was a really beautiful addition to our intimate play. And then we started to, because the spanking had been incorporated in our life, we started to look around at who else was doing spanking, what is happening with spanking, and we started to see that it was happening in BDSM clubs. I mean, it was happening. Of course, it was happening before we noticed it. But when you don't notice these things until you actually go in to experimenting yourself and really starting to understand what this is all about. And then we started to be introduced to these spanking benches that women would lean over and they'd get some good spankings. Then there's the spanking tools that we started to see, paddles, flogs, whips, not just the hand. I mean, lots of different things used for spanking. Spoons, wooden spoons, whatever people can find, whatever people want. And it is a thing that you require consent because it can go from a very mild type of spank to a very intense kind of a spank. Some people can take a very, very, very intense spank. I could take a pretty hard spank. So that was how I forayed into spanking. Love to know if you are into spanking, if that's something you would love to try, and if you have tried or not, or if you've got a partner that is really into it. There are always people that are into spanking. I talk about this a lot about if you're interested in spanking your partner, you're kind of excited by the possibility of putting her over your knee and spanking her, and she's kind of scared or she's not quite there yet. Don't introduce spanking unless she's really warmed up and really in a good sexual space, right? So that she becomes part of the sexual connection. A lot of women don't like it when men just spank their ass randomly because they're not really in that space. They might be doing something else. I mean, I even now, they don't like it too much if I'm cooking and I'm doing something and then my husband comes around and gives me a spank on the ass. I don't really like it because I'm not in that frame of mind at all. I'm completely somewhere else. I'm cooking, I'm making meals, I got something on the stove, I got something over here and here. And he just loves to see me in the kitchen, and that's when he gets horny and he likes to come over and spank me or grab me. And I don't like it because, I'm cooking. Stuff can burn. Stuff can, I gotta focus. So make sure it's a time when she's really into sex and turned on and in the moment, and then just give her a little smack and see what happens and see how she likes it and introduce it like that. So bring it into the sexual connection already. And that's how I suggest you do it, and it may work, and she may really like it, and then you may be able to move from there into more possibilities of spanking her. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming today. Really great to be here, and nice to see you, and much love making.